Thank you very much, June. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Napakainit naman ng panahon. Anyway, last week, we talked about... What did we talk about last week? Anthropology, which means the science of what the title as flashed between masses is what makes us human, no? But it's a study of what a human being is. What did you remember? Ano mo yung umpisa? Paano ko inumpisahan? Man, di ba? We talked about man. What did we talk about man? So body and soul. Pero bago yan, ang tao ba ay merong iba-ibang genders or sex? Ilan mo ang genders?
Dalawa.
Hindi ba 70? Or 80? And then originally dalawa lang. And I think I mentioned about this couple who they wanted to raise their child as a non-binary child. Right? So non-binary, ibig sabihin, neither male nor female. Okay, so man is either male or female. Okay, so this is man. And then we learned last week that man is composed of a soul and a body. And the soul has two faculties. Ano po yung faculties ng soul? What do we have in our soul? Yes, we mentioned about intelligence. So we have intellect. Oops. Another marker. Thank you. There's another one, but it's red. I see. It's red. Okay. Intellect, and then what's the other one? Intellect at saka will. Hindi ba? Intellect and will. Ano ang function ng intellect? To
Decide.
to know. Di ba? To know, and the function of the will is to do or to choose.
Not to do.
Right? Or to choose. To know what?
To know what is right or wrong.
The truth.
To know what is right or wrong, yes, but to know the
Truth.
To know the truth. To know the truth. To know the truth. And God designed our will to choose or to do
Good.
To do good. Alright. Okay, so you have the intellect, you have the will. How about the body? Anong meron sa body? What did God give us? Senses. Galing. The senses. And the senses, what is the function of our senses? To give us
Experience.
pleasure. Diba? Pleasure. Okay. So, question. Among the three, sa tatlong aspeto ng ating soul and body, intellect, will, at saka senses. Ano ang ginamit natin? O ano yung ginamit ko, to be specific, when I saw my wife and I told myself, I'm gonna marry her. Ano ang ginamit ni Noemi when she first laid eyes on me? Biro lang po. When she accepted my proposal to get married. Okay, when I asked her, will you marry me? Okay? Ano ang ginamit ko at ano ang ginamit ni Noemi when she decided also to marry me? Is it the intellect
Body.
Is it the will or the senses?
First, the sense.
First, the senses, lumipas na yun because when Noemi saw me, she was attracted to me. When I first laid eyes on her, I got attracted, and ang function, the senses function a lot. The sight, the touch, the feeling, everything. Okay, so it's not the senses. So we're left with intellect and will. It's the will. Okay, so when you decided, when the boys, the men here decided, siya ang magiging ang aking partner habang buhay, that was the function of the will. There was already a long process from the intellect. Okay, what is the process coming from the intellect? That when you get married, thank you, Jude, that when you marry, it will be for life, that my wife is going to bear children, and so on. But is she the one that I'd like to spend the rest of my life? It's a function of the will. Kaya once meron hong nagsabi that it is in the will where conjugal love, which is true love, it's not lust, resides. Ano ang consequence? What is the consequence when June decided I'm going to marry Louis and vice versa? What is the function of the will? To do the good. So when I proposed to Noemi, will you marry me? It was a decision that I made using my will, that I will do only the good things for her. Okay? Ano ang ibig sabihin nun? There are 3 consequences. First, tinatanggap ko siya bilang tao as a whole. Okay? So acceptance of the whole, or let's say entire person. Hindi ko siya tinanggap ng 90%, hindi ko siya tinanggap na 99%, but tinanggap ko siya 100%. Secondly, despite the flaws. Tayong lahat pinanganak na merong flaw, may pagkukulang. At when I said, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you, I accept you then in your entirety. Walang exception, 100%. Despite your imperfection and despite my imperfection. And I want you to flourish. Ibig sabihin, ang ating pagsasama ay isang instrumento para tayo ay lumago o to develop as a human being. So ang pag-aasawa ay hindi ho biro. It is not a function of the senses. The decision to get married is not a function of the flesh. It's not a function of the sight, because I see my wife as sexy. What if 20 years from now, hindi na siya sexy? Diba? What if meron siyang pagkukulang? What if hindi siya edukada? So when you decided to marry your spouse, it was an act of the will to do good despite her or his flaws, acceptance of the entire person, and each of you will flourish. So this is an important basic concept. So, when I asked my wife to marry, what did I do? I will only give to you only that is good for you. And Noemi, when she accepted my proposal, she said, yes, what does that mean? Also, an act of the will, ibibigay ko sa iyo ang aking katawan, everything despite my imperfections. Meron pong isang napakagandang consequence nito. Because we have flaws, ang promise that we do, which we don't actually explicitly say, is pupunuan ko ang pagkukulang mo. So it's an acceptance of the flaws, and because you have flaws, I will fill up or fill in whatever you lack. So that we, between the two of us, we develop as one person. Yung pong exchange of willingness, no? The act of the will to do good to the other, ay meron pong consequence. Nagkakaroon mo ng tinatawag na, sorry po, wala akong Tagalog translation po nito. But let's try to translate this. Reciprocal complementarity. This is the consequence of that exchange of the promise or the intention to do good to the other, to fill in or to fill in the flaws. Kaya ho, di ba, merong nakakapagtaka kasi meron ho tayong sometimes we meet couples at sinasabi natin, ay, parang habang tumatagal yung pagsasama, nagkakamukha kayo. Diba? Meron din couples na they're entire opposite. They're like poles apart. Yung isa ang lakas ng dating. Yung kabila naman, yung asawa naman, very shy. So nagkakaroon sila ng complementarity. Okay? Yung isa magaling mag-ayos na sa bahay, no? Maayos sa luluto, etc. Yung isang spouse hindi. Pero magaling siya sa technical bagay, etc. etc. We get this? Okay. So, this reciprocal complementarity has produced one very important end, two ends, no? One of the two ends of marriage, which is for the good of the spouses. Okay? Ayan. At yung reciprocal complementarity, binigay ko kay Noemi lahat, bibigay ni Noemi yung kanya sa akin, results in the gift. Kasi wala akong bayad. The gift of self-giving. Do you follow? You see the logical, the logical flow. At ang Diyos ay napakagaling. Because if you look at the body, He gave us the senses so that we will feel pleasure. At hindi lamang tayo nagkaroon ng soul, but we have the body. You can just imagine if God gave us only the soul, our soul. There's no body. So everything is hypothetical. So if I say to my wife, I love you, at walang body, walang sense, di siguro napaka-boring ng buhay. But because God gave us the senses, He allowed us to express that self-giving into something physical and something pleasurable. You get it? And that is where the marital act happens. And this, for the good of the spouses, when the husband and the wife do the marital act. Sorry, I'm very careful in using terms, no? So I don't use sex. I try to describe the marital act or the union.
Making love.
Making love, medyo narinig ko yan sa TV. So it can be subject to abuse. But the marital act, meaning the act between husband and wife, married in church, right? What does it produce? Children. And therefore, the other end of marriage is for the good of the children. You probably have heard about the ends of marriage for the good of the spouses and for the good and welfare of the children. Dito nanggaling ito. Okay? Now, the beauty about self-giving is that the self-giving is not hypothetical, it is translated into something physical. Kaya ako ang mag-asawa ay nagtatalik. Okay? That's why there is a marital act. And did you notice? No, I'm sorry. Hindi pala notice. Alam na natin lahat. But someone told me that it is only the human beings na nagtatalik na magkaharap. Face to face. If you look at the animals, the dogs, the cats, how do they make love? Back to back, nagkakatalikuran. No? And when the couple, the husband and the wife, do the marital act, what do they become? They become one. So the self-giving, which is coming from the act of the will, is manifested physically through the marital act. And therefore what happens is, this is where yung ating naririnig sa gospel palagi, that the two shall become one. Yung becoming one is not just physical, but it is also coming from the act of the will as a result of self-giving. So, what can we derive from this? There are two aspects, therefore, of human sexuality. First is when the spouses love each other and they give an entire self to the other, and vice versa. What happens is it results in one of the two functions of conjugal act or the sex, no? Human sexuality. So this part here is what you call the unitive function or the unitive part. And what is this part here on the body part that resulted in children, no, being raised? This is the procreative function of sex, and therefore sex has two functions. It is for unity, which is out of love between the spouses, that will result in the procreation and bearing of children. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about the consequences of those concepts. Thank you. Okay. Ako'y tinatamad na sumulat sa whiteboard, so gumawa ko ako ng sarili kong notes so that we don't have to waste time. So what are the lessons? I have summarized 4 lessons from this. First, the marital act or the sexual union is an expression of mutual love. Okay, you exchange love that we talked about between husband and wife, and it cannot be between boyfriend and girlfriend. Through the language of the body. Okay? So, in other words, hindi ho buo yung human sexuality if it's just an expression of human love. If I just tell Noemi every day, I love you, and that's it, napaka-boring at kulang ho yung expression of love na yun. Because that expression of love, that mutual love, has to be expressed physically. And therefore, human sexuality is not simply a biological fact. It's sad to hear stories from students, especially in the public schools. I've heard stories that yung sex education nila, ang tinuturo ay the biological aspect. Meron, ang teacher ay nagdadala ng saging at ang kondom ay pinapasok sa saging. Tinuturo yung biological fact, missing what is equally important, which is the part of the soul. Okay. And therefore, human sexuality is not just based on feelings. That if I see a girl and I'd like to have sex with her, that I will use my human sexuality, the sexual faculties, so that satisfy myself. Hindi ho ganon. Because, again, going back to the basics, the use of human sexuality involves the use of the body, which is the physical and involving the feelings, pati ho yung expression of love. And therefore, second point, it is a total gift of self. When the husband and wife do the marital act, it's an expression of self-giving. And that self-giving is not just 99%, but it is total. So, yun pong aspeto na pinag-usapan natin, which is the procreative function and the unitive function. The two have to be present when you do the marital act. Let's test this. Premarital sex. Dalawang magkasintahan, they decided to have sex before getting married. The boy says, I love you with all my heart, with all my soul, 100%, 101%. And the girl says, likewise, but they're not married, so they have sex. Is the sex legitimate? Is it moral? Okay, we all know it's not. Why? Using this, why is it not moral? Bakit siya immoral? Bakit hindi dapat nagsisex yung dalawang hindi kasal?
Kasi it's only done for pleasure.
Okay? One is present, the pleasure side. How about the other? So yung present is the procreative side. Pwedeng mabuntis yun si babae. But what is not present is the unitive side. Because when a married person marries the wife, he will say, I'm gonna marry you for your good. But when a guy invites a girl to have sex with him before marriage, is he inviting the girl to do something that's good? No. So the guy is giving something that's bad to the girl. That's why unity is not present. Pangalawa, the love is not total. Alam niyo yung tatlong aspeto ng total self-giving or total conjugal love? The three are the following. One, total means faithful. 100%. Second, it's permanent. Till death do us part, 100%. Three, it's fecund, meaning it's procreative. It will produce children, 100%. What is missing is the permanence. The relationship between a boyfriend and a girlfriend is not permanent because they did not sign a marriage contract that they will live until death do us part. So that part is missing, the unity part. That's why it's immoral for two people who are not married to have sex. Okay? Masturbation. Unfortunately, there was one incident that I heard from a friend who used to send his and her son to one school, and the son heard the parents in a talk, or was it the son in a talk that he said masturbation is okay. Okay. Why is masturbation immoral? Why is it the wrong use of human sexuality? We go back to test that, to the functions of unitive and the procreative. When a person masturbates, meron bang procreative function? Wala siya na mag-isa. Is it an expression of love to the other? No. Simply put, it's self-gratification. It's immoral. Contraception. We go back. Dalawang legitimate husband and wife, married in church, they do the marital act, they love each other, no question, 100%. But the husband uses a condom, or nagpalaygate si misis, or gumamit ng contraceptive pills. Procreative? No. So ginamit ang sex into something that is not designed for that purpose. What's missing is a procreative function. Extramarital affair. Of course, it's immoral. What's missing? No, let's go back to this. Let's try to be logical. Let's go back to this. Si husband merong chiching, so they have sex. Let's test. Procreative? Yes. But is it unitive?
No.
Why? Because the love is not total. Hindi yung permanent at hindi siya faithful. Get it? Now, we've heard one ex-politician whose wife went to the States and he followed us 2 weeks ago. And suddenly, without us seeing the wife pregnant, meron silang twins through in vitro fertilization. Moral? Immoral. Or surrogate. So the egg of the wife and the sperm of the husband inilagay sa isang test tube at planted in the womb of another person. So surrogate mother. It's not unitive. Kasi hindi sila nagtalik. Which is the requirement for the physical expression of love. Okay, so this has been a common occurrence. A lot of people are doing this, especially those who are rich. No? Sometimes, or many times, oftentimes, it produces twins and triplets and quadruplets. Right?
Sigurina.
Hindi ko siguro yun ang tinutukoy ko. Pero, if you separate the unitive aspect from the procreative aspect, if you separate, kasi dapat dalawa, magkasama sila. Ano ko ang nangyayari? Katulad ng mga examples na ibinigay ko. You objectify each other. You use each other's body. Nagiging object, nagiging physical ang relationship. Okay? And then the last part is something that I'd like to quote. And this is from my favorite, Jason Everett, who's a purity speaker. I'm not sure if you've heard about Jason Everett. In fact, he's coming over in May, ma'am. Jason is coming over in May. We met him in 2011 and talked a lot about purity. Okay? He said, the marital act, and this is so beautiful, the marital act is the wedding vows made flesh. The couple leaves the sanctuary of the church into the sanctuary of the bedroom. Naalala niyo yung inyong
Consummated.
Naalala ninyo yung inyong vows, wedding vows? Kung nakalimutan yun ito po. I, DM, take you knowingly for my lawful wife, and to have, and to hold from this day forward, for better or worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and health, until death do us part. This was the vow that we made when we got married, and God is so good that He gave us the body, so that me and my wife and your wives and your spouses will be able to physically manifest that love. And therefore, when you talk about human sexuality, it has to be both the unity, for the purpose of unity and also for the purpose of procreation. With that, thank you very much, Paul. You have questions? Questions? Paul? Yes.
I cannot understand, sir, the immorality of having children under vitro fertilization. What I know about that is maybe the mother is no longer capable of producing inside
Yes.
the womb. That's why they are making it like that. That's what we know. They no longer can procreate because of the entire body of the woman is no longer capable.
Opo. We recognize that there are people who cannot bear children. And in fact, the church has recognized. And in fact, if you look at the catechism of the Catholic Church, meron mong portion about those situations. No? And what is the suggestion of the church? The church is, well, this is my own interpretation of the catechism, and the church is encouraging those people to look around and try to see children who are unfortunate not to have parents with them, or their parents are not able or capable to raise children, but they have kids. Ano hong ibig sabihin? The church is encouraging the exercise of charity by adopting those children. So what happens with in vitro fertilization is ginamit ho yung human sexuality in something that is not for that purpose. Ibig sabihin, from the beginning, God created man capable of using their sexuality for his purpose. And in vitro is outside of that. Ganun lang po kasimple yung May medyo masakit po for certain families. No? In fact, I'm not condemning. We're not condemning here those people who practice in the IVF. But what we're trying to learn here is the right use of human sexuality. And it's just unfortunate that IVF is a practice that does not fall under this.
Yung mga low age na nag-pregnant agad, what can you say for that?
Less than 18? May mga, yung just getting pregnant or getting married below 18 in this generation is something, it's not common, no? But it happens. But I remember in the 40s, nabasa ko in the 40s, nakwento sa akin ng aking mga magulang at mga kamag-anak, that a lot of, there were we had relatives who got married at less than 18. In fact, I think Noemi's tita got married at 16, no? Or even 14. Philippine laws, bago ho ng family code, allow marriage for a guy who's 16 and for a girl who's 14 during those times, prior to 1980. Pero binago na ho ng family code, naging 18, tapos meron pang parental consent at the age of 21. So, ano masasabi ko? Well, it's a different topic, but you're talking teenagers, and teenagers, as we have learned from our, running parenting courses, hindi pa ho fully developed yung kanilang brain. There's a part of the brain, I forgot the term, that the function of which is to make the person become aware of the consequences of their acts. So yung part of the brain is not fully developed at 18. It fully develops at around 21 or 22. So yun yung pumapasok sa relationship, less than 21 or 18, etc. They're not aware of the consequences, so dapat gabayan ng mga magulang. That's why you're here, right? Questions? Yes, go ahead.
So, dahil konti lang kayong nag-lecture ng ganito, maraming kabataan talagang hindi nila nakukuha yung ganitong mga training.
That's why it's important. That's why our advocacy is parenting education. No? So if you form the parents well, you can be assured that the product are well-formed children. Kami ni Noemi were just fortunate that anthropology was taught in the schools, or is being taught in the school of our kids. So when I explained this to my son, yung unitive and procreative, and he was, I think, first year or second year high school. Ang aking pakiramdam at that time was nag-gets niya ito because my son who went to Southridge taught this and anthropology even in grade school. So when I talk about unitive and appropriative functions of human sexuality, he was able to get it. He did not say, yes, gets me and that, no. But I felt that he was able to understand because there was a strong collaboration between the practices that we have at home and also in school. So nagkakaroon ng consistency. So that's why we go to schools, no. In fact, Don Bosco is now running a course called the Middle Childhood Parenting Course, Don Bosco Makati, which is being run by EduChild. But in all parish schools, Southridge, Woodrose, Rose Hill, and even in Cebu, nandun mo yung EduChild. Kaya ho kami nag-volunteer dito, but hopefully, you will be able to teach your children, if you're a lolo, turo ninyo sa inyong mga anak at saka mga apo. But maybe not in this way, Because if you're dealing with kids, there is a different style of teaching. Yeah. Meron pa ba? Overtime na. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, kasi nabanggit niyo kanina na sa school,
Apo.
na yung lagi nilagyan ng condom.
Apo.
So it's a very sensitive topic
Yes.
to be discussed in school.
That's right.
How I wish na yung topic na yun, bago i-discuss sa bata, sana naka-attend sila ng seminars like this.
Apo.
Para hindi mamimislead lang yung bata. Kasi we are trying to teach the children about sexuality. But the only procreative is being taught. So, hindi kayo pwedeng magkaroon ng deliberation in education. Kung i-discuss about this one.
Thank you po.
This is very true
And enlightening.
yeah.
Diba?
Oo.
Now you're able to explain why the use of condom is immoral without saying that, sabi ng pari eh, the church says so, mali ang paggamit ng condom. Now you are able to explain why condom is immoral. To answer your question po, values education is more important than sex education. So, fortunately, yun the school that I teach, it's called the University of Asia and Pacific. Meron silang program on values education at yun talaga ang pinupush ng school, and they have just signed an MOU with the DepEd of Metro Manila. At ang DepEd ng Metro Manila ay nagpapadala ko ng teachers to go through parenting education, values education, and fortunately, anthropology, for which this is part of, is being taught in that class. And so the idea is for those teachers from the public schools in Metro Manila to go back to their respective schools, and they will be the trainers to train the teachers there. So, yeah. Pero kung habang nandyan yung influence ng Amerika, because they're the ones espousing for abortion and contraception, USA and the UN, etc. Yun ang ginagawang pang hostage dun sa ating utang sa Amerika, papatuloy ng ganito. So, I think the idea here is to, in our small little ways, in our parishes like this, we have to educate the people here. Okay?
Okay.
Meron pa ba? Klaro ito?
Yes.
Okay. Sige. Thank you po.